I don't know what the right answer is. I've reported to law enforcement. That I know to be right. I know to share my story. My hope, my intention is to educate people who might be targets of human trafficking. My intention is love and growth. There's still lots of anger. I've cried and done some mental screaming. I'm probably gonna do more, but I want this video to be that inner peace speaking. I am that I am. So what happened? There was a gentleman that I met in a bar. He is charming, handsome, charismatic. One of the first things that he felt compelled to tell me, which was benign, totally a normal and valid thing, just something to keep note of because it was really early. It was literally one of the first things said. Talked to me about how sad he felt that the local population seemed to treat him with such mistrust due to his origins of birth. I expressed empathy. We continued to have a lovely night. He asked if he could come and join my friends and I at the table. And when he learned that we were a community, he thought that that was so cool, and I thought that that was charming. The fact that he was interested in meeting them, or had at least expressed so on the first time meeting, was one of those things that I was like, I'm not totally comfortable with that thought just yet. So I kind of like sidestepped it, like, well, yeah, who knows in the future? But again, that is a pretty benign thing. Words come out of the mouth and I take them one way and they're meant another way. I get it. As the night progressed, he asked if he could get in contact with me and get to know me. I gave him my number. He was very charming. And the next day he called to ask me on a date. I'm a smart cookie, so I parked not just in front of the entrance, and I do mean right in front of the entrance, but also right in front of the camera, because again, I'm a smart cookie. I went inside and he was, I don't know, he seemed a kind of way, like he had something on his mind. It was when I sat down that I really clocked that he seemed a little bit off. It's the autism, I think. Maybe I don't always recognize social cues. And I asked if he was okay, and he said, yeah. And suddenly he seemed much better, and I didn't think anything of it. We had a lovely conversation, and I think we both kind of felt a shift in, this isn't gonna happen. And it was right about then that I noticed he sat forward and kind of got intent with his phone, which is, again, really common thing. And he kind of looked out the window that was just at his side, but like along his back. So he was looking like along the side of the building. And there's nothing there. There's parking, and then there's like a slight alley to like the back of the restaurant, where I'd imagine there's like the dump back there, but there's nothing of interest really back there. But maybe he's checking out the scenery. Not a big deal. I am loving, looking back at this, how I really went into this with just such trust and faith that this was a genuine human being who wanted to connect with me. And at the same time, was just mentally noticing all of these things, and when it came time, was able to piece them together. God, I love my brain. Anyway, so it was right after he put his phone down that he asked me how my kids were. I said, oh, they're doing fine. And he asked how my community was. And I said that, oh, they're good too. He asked, how many people are in your community again? Really normal question. And without even thinking about it, I went ahead and disclosed that information. And he said, and all women? I didn't miss a beat when I smiled very warmly and said, no, that's not a green flag question. That's not a beige flag question. That's not an orange flag question. That's a red flag question. But I just smiled and said no, hoping that we're going to leave it there now. And he pressed. He tried to offer how many women. When I finally felt backed into a corner and that knee-jerk honesty kicked in and I disclosed exactly how many women, he wanted to press and know exactly how many men. I am learning that it is acceptable to lie to predators. Honesty is such a big deal to me. Authenticity, being real, is so important to me. It is literally within the last 3 months since my last breakup that I have finally accepted that you're allowed to lie to predators. If someone is trying to hurt you, they do not deserve to be a part of your reality. It wasn't until after all of this that I had that conversation again with myself. Like I said, it's a very recent development. Go me. After that, I complimented him and I smiled and I played cute, because let them think you're dumb. Let them think that they are smarter than you. His very next question to me as he leaned forward was, "Are you on any sort of medication?" Again, that knee-jerk honesty got me. What? No, what? He was very calm as he said, "It's just a question." I said, "That seems like a really weird question." He says, "No, it's just a random question." I just kind of stared at him for a long minute, because for those not in the know, that is the sort of question that you ask someone before you were about to drug them. I said, "I feel unsafe." I stood up, I grabbed my phone. I walked to the front of the restaurant because I'm not going to my car without an escort. While we arranged an escort, I called the police. I stayed on the phone with the police until I got to the police department. I filed a report. I filed an FBI report. He was incredibly smart, I'll give him that, because he stayed so calm. He leaned back. He messed with his food just a little bit. Cool as a cucumber. Totally chill. He just sat there and watched. Messed with his phone a little. Smart man. If he leaves without paying, he's committed a crime. I did a lot of meditating before I started making this video, because my original intention was to add your picture to it. I hope you're not watching me. I hope that was a one-off experience and you had more than enough that day at the restaurant, and I'm never gonna hear from you again. That'll be that. I pray for a lot of things. I prayed for what the right thing to do was. The thing that, when I look back, I'm so proud that I did. And it's not condemning you to a fate that I wouldn't understand. There's too much hate in the world for somebody to see someone who looks like you and misjudge them. Okay, I guess that's all I've got to say.